Hey, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table Enabled. Today we're doing Siman Kuf Samech Tet 169 in Hilchas B'tzias HaPas. Hilchas Zvar Manoag and Basuda is actually called. Only 3 sifim. Dina Shamish Basuda. If you're going at a meal and you have a butler, or you're in a restaurant, you have a waiter, what do you do about feeding them food that tastes or smells really good? Aleph, Kol Davar Shemavim Lifnei Adam Sheish Lo Reach. It has a strong smell. Adam Toyevlo, based on that strong smell, it smells delicious. Sarach Lita Mimenu Lashamash, you have to give it to your butler or to the waiter. Miyad. This is a Gemara in Mesechus Ksuvos on Samach Aleph. You have to give it to them. Midas Chasidish Litin Lo Miyad Mikol Min V'Min. If you have one of those mixed platters where you get a little piece of rib steak and you get some lamb chops and you get some baby chicken, you have to give him a little bit of each. Midas Chasidish, right? As long as you give him one of them. Maybe just give him the chicken because it's cheaper. When he's bringing your cup of wine, right? You're not going to eat steak without a good dried red wine, right? Don't give it to him because he's going to scarf down that piece of meat and he's going to drop the wine. Obiad balabayas, or if the balabayas, the one who's paying for the meal, he's holding the cup of wine, don't give it to him because, hey, I'm paying for this big meal. You're giving away my food. So the wine might spill and ruin your meal. So you don't want to do it. A guest, right, you can give to him, right? Because, right, you expected to have that guest eat with you, so you're not losing any money. This is actually a Gemara in Ksuvas also. The Gemara says, or Gemara in Chulin, I'm sorry. The Gemara in Chulin says, you can't give him bread. I don't know, bread must smell really good. Some garlic bread actually smells really good. Focaccia bread maybe it smells really good. If he didn't, unless you know that he washed his hands, which a lot of cases, the waiters, we don't know. They didn't tell us at time. We're talking time for a Suda. So if you don't know, that's an excuse. I don't have to give him anything because he didn't wash his hands. Right? That's the bread. The meat, we'll see in Siman Beis what about if you think he's going to make a bracha or not. So this is the halacha. If there's a chashash, there's a possibility he didn't wash his hands, you don't have to give him the bread. But you would have to give him. Beis, lo yitin lechol el mishu yodei levarich. Now this is not a Gemara. This is Rabbeinu Yonah at the end of the 8th parak in brachos. He says, you don't give food to someone who might not make a bracha. Now this is really relevant. This is not relevant just when you have to give food to a butler or to a waiter, but if you have a friend, or you're at a kiddush or something like that, and you want to be nice to your friend, and your friend is not observant, he's not going to say a bracha. You can't give him food because he's probably not going to make a bracha. It's lifnei iver. Now it's not lifnei iver because a bracha is midrabanan, ostensibly, and the most it's going to be is misayeh yedei over avera, but it's still also midrabanan to help someone do an avera. V'yesh mekilim nosin la'ani b'torat tzedakah. Let's say he's a poor person, he's not going to make a bracha. Nonetheless, if it's tzedakah, he has nothing to eat, then you could give it to him. Right? We'll have to explore in Ian to lean on what's the difference between halacha aleph and beis. Right? Aleph presumably is a din of sar bali chayim. Right? Sar bali chayim, he's in pain, so you have to wait. It smells really good. It's going to pain him not to be able to partake of the food. So the halacha is in halacha aleph that if he didn't do netilas yadayim, which is derabanan, right? We learn netilas yadayim as most is derabanan. Maybe it's a minhag, but most derabanan, right? You still shouldn't give it to him, even though sar bali chayim. Here for tzedakah, you give it to him, even though he's not going to make a bracha. What's the difference? We'll talk about that in Talin on. Gimel hashamish mevarach bor pri agafen al kol kos v'kos. When you give him, let's say the wine smells really good, so he makes a bracha on every cup of wine you give him. He doesn't expect to get every cup of wine. You really only have to give him one glass of wine. If you have even, a bunch of different varieties of wine, it's only midas chasidus to give him every type. So if he waits till the end of the meal and makes the bracha, which goes on all the cups, no matter how many cups he had. If you're giving him pieces of bread, so he doesn't have to make a new bracha on each piece of bread. Because as long as there's an important person, a VIP person, a star or a celebrity at the meal, because the celebrity cares, he has to be extra careful for his persona and his public relations and the way people view him, because he's always in the public eye. So he's going to give him a lot of bread. So therefore, he's expecting to get more bread from this guy. Wine's expensive. He's not expecting to get another cup of wine. He knows he's going to get whatever he wants to fill himself from bread. If there's no celebrity there, he's not expecting to get every piece of bread. So therefore, every piece of bread is a different bracha, right? Because the hefsek between the other and soup is going to get it. Haga, two people eating together, eating bread together. Can't make a zimun. We're going to learn soon about hilchos zimun and the meal. So he's allowed, even against their will. They say you can't have our food, or can't have our bread. He can let it take a kazayas. The Mishnah is only kazayas, enough to be started for a zimun. Kazayas of bread, in order to mechayev them in the mitzvah of zimun. It's interesting how technically they don't want them to eat their bread. It's kazela. You're allowed to do this for making yuchiyim in a zimun. Hard to understand this halacha. If I don't want you to eat my bread, I don't eat my bread. I don't have to make a zimun. If I eat three people eat bread together, then they make a zimun, but I have to do a zimun to allow gezel. Hard to understand this halacha. I'm not going to talk about that in Ian Talina, but I will talk about the first question I asked, the difference between halacha aleph and beis, Ian Talina, coming up next.